Hello, we're at the Wargames Illustrated / Nevermind the Billhooks table now, and I've got with me the guy who made the boards. This is David Marshall, he's from TM Terrain. So, there's a lot going on top of these boards, but we'll just talk about the baseboards for a minute ourselves. So, the idea, David, was to go from the harbour into the town to the countryside, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that I wanted was the fact that everything on here is take-on, take-offable.
Yep.
So it's not nothing's integrated. But just tell us a bit about your methods for making. Let's start with the waterboard. How do you build it up?
Well, once I've made the wooden carcass, and these were 4 foot by 2 foot carcasses, I then polystyrene infill, and then in this water is just a polyfiller, or I actually use Artex, sort of palette knifed onto it, and then I use the palette knife to create hopefully a little bit of wavy look, and then paint it a blue base, and then wash it with greens and blacks and browns, and a little bit of a highlight to highlight some of the waves, and then just a varnish. Okay. So that's the water.
Right.
Yeah, pretty simple really. It's very messy, the Artex bit.
It's
just, but otherwise it's easy.
Okay. And what about the other boards? So we've got, that's a bit more towny, so there's a bit less green, bit less flock on it, but these 3 boards have been built in a similar kind of way,
They have, yeah. Really the only difference, the waterboard is thinner, but all the other boards are 40 millimetres thick, but built the same way with a polystyrene infill, but then I'll cover it in grout rather than Artex. The grout gives a harder finish to it. Okay. And then I can texture it, and in this case I've textured with sand and birdcage grit, but other places I can just sand or however it works.
Yeah.
And then with the town board there's no flock at all, because you're just having buildings on it. And then the other 2 I've used flock, and that's a mix of a dark green, medium green and a light green to give it that, hopefully a little bit of variety in colour.
Okay.
And then spray all of it with PVA glue, just to give it make it sure it sticks and doesn't rub off.
Right. And then we've got two very nice little hills, haven't we, or hillocks? So we've got the one that the castle sits on and the one that the monastery sits on. So I guess you built those 2 in a similar kind of way.
Yes, I did. The base is a PVC plastic base. I used to use MDF sheets, but sometimes it warps. This plastic now just never warps. So that as a base, polystyrene again stuck on, and then I use woodland scenic rock moulds with plaster for the rocks. So I just get a load of those, stick them on with grout again, cover the top with grout, and paint it and to finish. And I had to make sure that they were the right size for the buildings, because the buildings are from your collection.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Well, now you have the microphone, and you ask me about the buildings, because I bet you'd like to know, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay. Right, well,
I've seen these buildings over the years in the magazine.
Yeah.
From your collection. So where do you get them from?
Right, well, thanks for asking.
That's all right.
So these buildings, and what we're talking about here is the castle, the big castle, the monastery building, and one of the bigger buildings in the town as well. They were commissioned by the original owner and founder of Wargames Illustrated, our much beloved Duncan McFarlane. Yeah. So there's a guy in America, Herb Gunt, who used to trade under the name of H.G. Walls. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I know Herb.
Yeah.
I know Herb Gunt, yeah.
Yeah, well, Duncan commissioned them from him. So they were scratch built, completely scratch built, and then Duncan got them back to the UK, apparently as hand luggage on the plane. The castle comes in 2 halves, so he somehow managed to get that in the overhead locker. So we've got Duncan to thank for those buildings, made in the 90s, I think, but they look fantastic.
They do, don't they? Yeah. Herb Gunt was brilliant.
Yeah.
And
the other buildings, the ones in the town, they're Grand Manor.
So is that one a Grand Manor, that tower?
No, I don't think that tower is. That again was inherited from Duncan's collection. but I don't know where that's come from. A lot of the stuff we inherited from Duncan, I don't actually know where it came from.
Yeah.
So the most of the smaller buildings in the town, they're Dave Bodley Grand Manor.
Yeah.
And then the harbour, that's from Etsy. I bought that from Etsy from a company in America again, actually, who print 3D terrain. So I think it's sort of designed more for fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of thing. And then we have got a bit of Games Workshop stuff from their Lake Town collection.
Are they the boats?
Yeah, the boats and some of the sort of background to the harbour as well. Some of the wooden stuff. On the table, we've got a couple of galleys that have been made. One made by Steve Wood, and they started out as MDF from Sarissa, and then they've been converted slightly.
Was that an article in the magazine for one of those?
It's going to be. So by the time you watch this, maybe it will be, yeah. And the guy running the game today is Andy Callan, who is the guy who wrote Nevermind the Billhooks. He's just waving us some of the MDF kits, actually. So he's playing Billhooks Italia on one part of the board, and then Boat Hooks, which will be the forthcoming supplement for Billhooks on the other side of the board.
Right.
Figures of Perry's, Salt Group, and some Wargames Atlantic.
That wagon?
That wagon was built by Steve Wood again, and it was built from some plans that we put in Wargames Illustrated magazine, actually. And it was originally 15 mil, and Steve converted it into a 28 mil. So he made that himself. Yeah. Don't know about the other two wagons, so don't ask me about them, David.
What about the trees? Because they look really smart.
Trees are very nice. They're from Debris of War. The guy at Debris of War's made a lot of stuff for Wargames Illustrated over fairly recent years, and so they're a really nice addition. Yeah. Nice to have some good-looking trees.
Yeah, lovely, aren't they? Yeah.
So there you are. That's about it, folks. This is the Wargames Illustrated Nevermind the Billhooks table, and thanks very much, David of TM Terrain.
Pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay. Right, cheers.
That's all right.
Hello, Rich Clark of Two Fat Lardies, and specifically today, the Lard Zone.
Absolutely.
What's the Lard Zone about?
Well, it's a zone full of lard, mate.
Really?
Absolutely packed, wall-to-wall lard. We've not only got a trade stand where we've been launching What a Cowboy today, we've also got 6 super exciting games giving people an opportunity to come on down and sample the joys of lard. So we've got a great big game here of Big Chain of Command. You have to be careful how you say that. On to the next game, we've got an Arnhem game, of Chain of Command as well. Then we've got Pegasus Bridge with Ainting Shopman, run by Phil and Jenny, who've come all the way from the West Country to run that. Then over across to our left, we've got John Savage, the creator of What a Cowboy, who's running that, absolutely packed out all day. Then up from that, we've got Mark Backhouse, the creator of Strength and Honour, who's running a game of the Battle of Cannae. Incredible, 2 mil figures, but still on an 8x6 or 8x4 table. Really huge spectacle of a grand eagle-eye sweeping view of that fabulous terrain. And then finally, last but by no means least, we have Housewife's favourite, Dave Brown, who is running General Dame 2. Now this is a look ahead, second edition of General Dame that's coming out this summer. And Dave's showing that to the public for the very first time.
Marvellous. And do you know what the most impressive thing is?
No, mate, what's that?
That you've been here for more than 6 hours and you still sound fresh. You still sound enthusiastic.
Well, it's actually been a great day. I've really been inspired by having the Lard Zone here, and it's been hugely motivational to see all the people really enjoying playing the games, having a great time, and doing something that we haven't really done at Salute before. We've tended to bring a game along and play that, but this has been such a great opportunity to get a load of really well-known game designers together and actually giving them the chance to show their games off to members of the public. And I think that's great. I'm just loving it, really good. And I hate wargame shows, famously. And if I'm this enthusiastic, it tells you what it's done for me. So having a Lard Zone has been, there we go, a real tonic.
And is this going to be a regular thing now? Can we expect Lard every year?
Yeah, oh absolutely. That's certainly the plan. I mean, we had a Lard Zone at Partisan last year, and we're going to be running a Lard Zone at Partisan this year. And very much looking forward to it. We've had it at Selwig in North London, and getting everybody together and creating that environment of really positive gaming. Yeah, that's what we want to do and how we see it going forward.
Marvellous. And you picked up an award?
Have we?
Did you not know
No.
that? Oh, right.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd like to present you with the best historical game.
Fabulous.
The Robert
Bothwell Award.
You didn't know you'd won
No,
that?
I didn't know. I didn't know. Well,
okay.
no, that's Joe Bilton who's doing this fabulous game of Big Chain of Command, which is, he did tell me how many feet it was, but I don't know. But it's got to be 14 foot by 6 foot.
Yeah.
Really fabulous looking hand-built terrain. Done a fabulous job, and this is well deserved. I mean, the best historical game. It's no surprise, is it?
No, it's not at all. No, it's well deserved. If a little cheap looking.
It is a bit cheap looking, and it's even worse now. I've got my fingerprints all over it. But there we go. If anybody nicks it, I'm in trouble, mate.
Right, thank you very much, Rich, and well done.
Thanks very much, and great to see you here. Hope you've enjoyed it.
I have, thank you. Right, cheers.
There you go, my pleasure.
Right,
Nice
thanks very much, Rich.
It's eclectic, it's fair to say. It's a real mix. Yeah, you could have a great quiz competition about can you spot all the brands in there.
It works, doesn't it?
It's generally me being going looking for big cheap stuff that will make a good frost giant. Yeah, the rise of plastic figures recently, the kind of one-piece, flexible plastic ones, you can paint them, there's some amazing ones out there. It's fun to get them all on the table, definitely. It's a bit silly, but it's something that enters in Norse mythology straight away. It's funniest kids from the Marvel films. That was fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes, 7th century is my period. So
I'm initially
do
many
you see the 50
myself.
mil around the outside? Yeah. So we're looking forward to it. Yes. I hope you're liking it very much. Because actually, all the years of researching ancient medieval stuff, I've really tried to keep them in the combat mechanics. The heroes are impulsive, they are not all powerful, they can't fight units by themselves.
Hello, right, okay, we're here with the Bexley Reapers Wargames Club, and you've won an award.
Yeah, won most innovative game.
Congratulations.
Always difficult to say, but yeah, really proud.
Right, well, this is not Tron, that's for sure.
It's not Tron because we don't want to get sued. So this is our light cycle game.
Right.
So there can be 4 light cycles on it. The players have a identity disc
All right.
or frisbee,
All right.
and in it you've got the rules of how to play. So they start at speed 3, they can select a move, all the players do this in secret, and then they all show it at the same time and do their moves at the same time.
I see, right.
So no one knows where anyone's going to go, and it makes the game a little bit hectic, and if people are quite aggressive, the game's over very quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, most people have been having fun with it.
You've made up the rules yourself, yeah?
Yeah, it's all homebrew, made the rules ourselves 3 years ago now, then COVID, and we lost the rules and had to try and remember what they were.
Okay, right, yeah. And how about the tables? These are something you've knocked up yourselves, have you?
Yeah, so all this is made, so the light boxes, one of our club members made them. He's very good at electrical engineering and lighting, so he's made these. They can flash and do fancy things. The bikes are 3D printed by another member. All the other boxes is all made by us.
Right.
So everything here is something we thought of, scratch built ourselves, which is what we do on most of our games when we come to Salute.
Yeah, I mean, you did in the past, you did the game that was this Hall of Salute with the zombie attack.
Zombies at Salute, yeah.
Yeah,
So that was this hall with tiny games where you had to get all your shiny stuff and pre-orders before the zombies got you.
That's right, yes. Another very innovative game. So
Yes.
you've obviously got a reputation now. You have to keep innovating. That's the
Yes.
key, isn't it, with your
So
group?
the main thing with our games is they have to be 5 minutes long,
Right.
roughly around 5 minutes. Because we do participation games, we want lots of people to be able to play it,
Yeah.
have fun. Whereas there's some games that are long participation games you can never get on.
No, of course.
So one of our core things is we make sure they're quick, fun, and that usually makes them simple.
Yeah, and you've certainly achieved that today. And well done for getting your award.
Thank you very
And
much.
thanks for telling us all about the game.
No worries, thank you.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm not sure. I figured there might be geopolitical extremism, so nobody wants to like it, right? So I'm thinking like that.
dear.
All right. Hi, I was going to speak in case there was sound coming on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, everyone's alright.
Very good.
Getting some nice shots of your board.
Oh, look at that, I've been immortalised.
Find you on the WI YouTube channel.
Hello mate, how you doing?
Long time no see, but
has been a
obviously
while.
been watching all this.
Has been a while. You didn't have all that the last time I saw you. Exactly, yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it would have been that long at least. How you keeping?
The last 10 years, I've managed to lose 15 kilos in the last 12 months. According to my wife, yeah, the whole average of still painting.
Yeah.
But I think incrementally getting better at it.
Oh, no, some of the bits and pieces of that. Just spend what was moved.
But you have to be careful.
Fighting against these supernatural threats. It's kind of a skirmish game, as you can see. You usually play with about like 8 to 10 figures. We're doing 4 to 5 for this game to kind of speed things up. And it's got a bit of an investigative feel. To do a check, you would roll both of those. This is the power dice and skill dice. You would add up the total, and you would add a number to that. And your check is your unit sheet. So, for example, if you're shooting, you'd add accuracy. And the total number you get.
Right, we're now here with Chris, who's going to tell us a bit about this very intriguing looking game here. Now we've seen the tower block come up and we've seen it go down. So what's it all about?
This is the American Embassy in Saigon, Tet Offensive 1968. Okay. This is the second time we've run the game. First time was this morning. VC astounding victory. It's very good. They drove the taxis and the tuk-tuks through the main gate, parked on the lawn, blew a hole in the back of the embassy and in. So that was quite good. This one, they've decamped at the gate and they're attacking. They've blown a hole in the wall over there, and they've come in from that side and this side. So it's a bit of a different approach this afternoon, but it's quite good.
Okay, right, yeah. So what's the idea with the tower? It's a modular tower, so once you get inside, you take it off, do you? And
Well, what's happened is Jed had this very cleverly designed, so we can actually fight floor by floor,
okay,
all the way up through the building.
That's Jed from Gringo 40.
It is, yeah. This is all his idea.
Right.
He's provided everything. He's just very kindly asked me to come along and play soldiers all day, basically.
Okay,
so
right, yeah.
it's very good of him. So the VC objective is to get to the helipad by 6:30 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
That's why this is so good, because you can actually, at the minute, you haven't got any Americans in the building,
Right.
but you can fight up level by level, as you can see.
Right, I see. Right, okay, yeah. And what game are you actually playing? What's the rules?
It's actually a set of homegrown rules by the chap over there. Whose unfortunately name escapes me, which is really bad of me. But he's actually he's written the rules. They're playing really nicely. There's no dice involved. It's all card driven.
Right.
And it works really, really well.
Okay, cool.
Really, really. I've not played it before today, and I'm really impressed with it. It just flows.
Okay,
It flows
cool.
really good, really well.
And it's Gringo 40's figures.
Gringo 40s, all Gringo's 40s figures, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, any more information, ask Jed, I'm sure he'll
Right,
help on
yeah.
with it. He's thinking behind it. I'm really impressed with this because all the Vietnam games, it's always rice paddies, jungle. I think this is the first one I've seen where it's an urban setting.
Yeah, I can't remember
And
seeing.
obviously the embassy building is an iconic building.
Yeah.
And in actual fact, we had an American gent come up this morning. He just stood over there, looked at it and just went, American Embassy, Saigon, Tet Offensive 68.
Wow.
He said, just see it, said straight away.
Yeah, I know Jed's a bit of a stickler for details, isn't he? So he's probably got it right.
Very much, yeah. I think there's one floor missing, but it would have just made it too high.
Okay.
And when you see it all together, you get the overall impression anyway. It is really, quite.
It does look good, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And just one last question: have you got enough sandwiches?
Yes, yes, we have got enough sandwiches. Always a war game of marches on the stomach.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, the sandwiches are good.
Right. Okay. Great.
Right,
Right.
good.
Well, thanks very much for
That's
taking
all
us
right.
on a tour of the table.
No, it's
Cheers.
absolutely fine. It is a lovely table.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, great fun to play.
Good.
This video has been brought to you by WiPrime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WiPrime by following these links.